At Lions News Fan Report, we have consistently analyzed the impact of strategic moves and the direction of the Detroit Lions throughout the offseason. Each week, we monitor the team's decisions and how they shape the future of the franchise. And as we enter the third week of free agency, one of the biggest uncertainties remains the team's need to improve its defensive line. This position continues to be a crucial area for the Lions, one that has yet to be solidified despite several moves made so far. But are the Lions truly prepared to solve this issue once and for all, or is there more being planned behind the scenes? The answers to these questions could determine the future of the franchise, not just for the upcoming season, but for years to come. From the beginning of the free agency period, it has been glaringly obvious that the Detroit Lions have a significant gap in their defensive line, particularly at the edge rusher position. The absence of a solid player to complement the talent of Aiden Hutchinson continues to be a growing concern. The team is trying to fill this void, but so far, the results have been underwhelming. Last season, the Lions made several moves to bolster their defense, but the cutting of Zadarius Smith, coupled with the re-signing of Marcus Davenport, has only created more questions. While Davenport could still provide value to the team, his injury history makes it difficult to depend on him for a significant role, especially when such an important position is at stake. Although there is an expectation that the Lions may look to the draft to fill this gap with a young edge rusher, the team requires a more immediate solution. The need is urgent, as Detroit looks to be competitive right now, with a playoff berth very much within reach. What the Lions truly need is a player who can step in and make an impact in the upcoming 2025 season, and the clock is ticking. This is where Matt Judon comes into play. Judon, currently with the Atlanta Falcons, is a veteran edge rusher whose name has been circulating as a potential target for the Lions. According to Jarrett Bailey, an analyst from Touchdown Wire, the Lions could be the perfect place for Judon to continue his career. While it's true that Judon may have passed the prime of his career and is no longer capable of being the #1 pass rusher for a team, that doesn't mean he doesn't have something valuable to offer. In fact, in a secondary role opposite Aiden Hutchinson, Judon could still be a force on the field. The Lions, who are looking to improve their pass rush, need someone who can take some of the pressure off Hutchinson. Judon's ability to play as a complementary piece would make him an ideal candidate for the job. He wouldn't be expected to carry the load as the primary rusher, but could excel as a second option, benefiting from the focus opposing offenses will place on Hutchinson. Judon's performance in 2024 was disappointing, to say the least. With only 5.5 sacks, it was his lowest sack total in a season that wasn't affected by injury since his rookie year in 2016. However, this decline should not be viewed as a permanent downward trajectory in his career. A key factor that contributed to his lower sack numbers was the fact that he was recovering from a bicep injury during that season, which limited his performance. In 2023, Judon registered only 4.5 sacks in 4 games, further raising questions about his effectiveness. But here's the thing, Judon's struggles in 2024 did not necessarily signal the end of his career. The truth is, he was playing through an injury that clearly impacted his ability to perform at his usual level. That being said, a fresh start with the Lions could be just what Judon needs. Given the attention Hutchinson draws from opposing offensive lines, Judon could find himself in a position to thrive as the secondary pass rusher. With less pressure on him to be the top guy, he could regain his form and be an impactful player once again. Looking at the financial side of things, Judon seems to be an affordable option for the Lions. Reports suggest that he could sign a 2-year contract worth around $8.4 million, which is a figure well within the Lions' budget. Detroit's salary cap situation is manageable, and they can easily afford to bring in a player of Judon's caliber. However, the smarter move for the Lions might be to offer him a 1-year deal, rather than locking him into a long-term contract. This would allow the team to evaluate his performance on the field and make a more informed decision about his future with the team. If Judon thrives alongside Hutchinson, the Lions could look to extend his contract. If not, they would have the flexibility to move on without a major financial commitment. This kind of flexibility is crucial for a team that is trying to build a competitive roster while still managing their cap space wisely. The bigger question, though, is why the Lions have yet to make a decisive move to strengthen their defensive line. We know that General Manager Brad Holmes has been cautious with his approach during free agency, but there is a clear need on the team. If there's one position that demands immediate attention, it's the edge rusher role. Many analysts and fans alike expected the Lions to be more aggressive in securing a top-tier player for this role, but instead, the team has taken a more measured approach. Some might argue that signing a player like Judon is exactly the kind of prudent move the Lions need. After all, while Judon may not be the most explosive pass rusher in the league anymore, he is still a proven veteran with a history of success. His experience and ability to perform in a complementary role could make him a perfect fit for the Lions. And let's not forget, the four-time Pro Bowler still has plenty of football left in him. If the Lions play their cards right, Judon could be a key part of their defense moving forward. While the decision to add a player like Judon may not be the flashiest move, it could prove to be the right one for the Lions in the long run. The team still has a lot of work to do to fill out its roster, but adding depth and experience to the defensive line is a critical step in the right direction. If Judon can return to form and provide a solid pass rush opposite Hutchinson, Detroit's defense will be much stronger, giving the team a legitimate shot at competing for a playoff spot in 2025. The Lions still have work to do in free agency and the draft, but if they can find the right balance between youth and experience, they can have a defense that is capable of going toe-to-toe with some of the league's best offenses. Furthermore, the culture within the Lions locker room has been shifting in recent years. Under head coach Dan Campbell, there has been a clear emphasis on building a strong, cohesive team rather than relying on individual superstars. While acquiring big-name players like Judon could certainly help the defense, it's just as crucial that the Lions maintain their identity as a team-first organization. The value of bringing in a player who understands the importance of team chemistry cannot be understated. Judon, with his extensive experience in the NFL, could be the kind of veteran presence that helps shape the Lions into a more formidable unit, both on and off the field. In the meantime, fans of the Detroit Lions will continue to follow the team's moves, hoping for the best and remaining optimistic about the future. The hope is that the front office will make the right decisions to solidify the defense and build a roster that can compete at the highest level. With the right moves, the Lions could be on the verge of a breakthrough season and perhaps even a playoff run. But until then, the wait continues, and fans will have to stay tuned for the next steps in the team's journey. If you enjoyed this video and want more content like this, make sure to follow our channel Lions News Fan Report to stay updated on all things Detroit Lions and the world of the NFL. Don't miss any updates and join us as we analyze every move, every trade, and every strategy for the upcoming season.